with my bare hands, right? I'm in there and I'm getting it and all the grit and the grime and the gunk that goes with cleaning toilets. You've all been there. You know it's nasty, especially if you got little boys around. Okay, it's a mess. Suppose I came in and I just got nasty hands. All right, and I offered you something. I mean, this again, I didn't really just clean the toilet, and I came and I offered you a piece of bread, right? Well, the bread is clean. So now that my hands have touched it, my hands are clean. Is that how that works? Not so much. No. Anybody like to eat it after I just came in? My hand's still dripping. May have a little bit of stuff under my fingernails. And I offer you a piece of bread with my bare hands. You're like, no, thank you. I don't want that. You probably don't want this one anyway. It's getting pretty dry. But I don't know. This is that whole grain bread that Stacy likes to buy. It's a whole grain, whole stalk, it's the whole plant. They just yank it out of the ground by the roots and they grind it all up and they make bread out of it. Okay, it tastes like a little piece of cardboard. So, but regardless, you wouldn't want to eat it after I just touched it with my nasty hands because it doesn't work that way. Okay, he said this is what you're doing. Yeah, your sacrifices. There we go. He does go on and explain it a little bit. Go to verse 14. We'll do a little more explanation. He says, then Haggai answered, the Lord says, this is also true for the people of this nation. They are unclean, and everything they do with their hands is unclean to me. Whatever they offer at the altar is also unclean to me. Their lives, their hands were dirty. Not physically dirty, their lives were dirty, and they were coming to God bringing sacrifices. You see what they had done? The temple had been destroyed. I mean, just completely destroyed. They came back from Babylon, and they built an altar. And the law says they were supposed to be, you're not supposed to make sacrifices outside the temple. It's supposed to be in the temple. God had constructed and dedicated a temple for sacrifices. And they were doing them outside. But maybe some scholars say that God made a special provision for them because the altar or the temple was destroyed. But they weren't doing anything in the process to rebuild the temple. They had stopped, and they were continuing to make sacrifices outside when they should have been building the temple and getting it ready so they could do them inside. See, God wasn't being hard-nosed with them about it. He understood the temple was destroyed. They didn't have a temple to offer sacrifices in, but they weren't doing anything about it. They weren't doing anything. They were just leaving it there. And what they were doing, well, number one was disobedience. They were neglecting the Lord's house. They were neglecting what they should have been doing. And they were coming in once a week or however often. They were breezing by the altar, throwing on some meat and sacrificing to God and going back on their merry ways, thinking, I'm okay now. But they were coming to God with dirty hands. Relate that to our own lives. How many of us go out throughout the whole week, living our own lives, doing what we want to do, when we want to do them, and occasionally we want to breeze into church, listen to some guy stand up here and talk for a few minutes, sing a couple songs, go back home, and we're good. We're clean. We're right with God. It doesn't work that way. And that's what Haggai's saying. It doesn't work that way. You can't just breeze in here whenever you want to, slap some meat on the altar, and say your life is good. In the same matter, we can't when we want to and occasionally and sing a few songs, listen to a few verses, and go home and claim our life is good. We throw a couple bucks in the plate, or in the box in our case. And maybe we say a prayer, life is good. I'm okay with God. In the same fashion, he says, what he's saying is your sacrifices aren't accepted. Your worship is not accepted because you're coming to me with dirty life and you're offering up something that's clean, but your dirtiness is making it dirty. And I don't accept it. And the same thing can happen to us. We can breeze in and we can offer up God's sacrifices in worship, not accepted because our lives are dirty. But we think it's making us good. He said, it doesn't work that way. So this temple was completed on we'll fast forward now. Again, God stirred their heart and he reset their priorities. He said, you got to understand, you've got to reorder your priorities. God's house has got to come first. God has got to come first. Okay? And the people were like, yeah, we understand. We're going to do that. And he got through to them. And they got back to work and they built the temple. So then the temple was completed on the third day of the month. Adar. And it was the 6th year of the reign of King Darius. And they rebuilt the temple. Now, it wasn't as great and as splendid as Solomon's temple, but it was a temple. And it was built. And they got the work done once they finally got refocused. Once they finally got refocused on it. And the sons of Israel, the priests, the Levites, and the rest of the exiles celebrated with dedication of this house of God with joy. Do you want to see God's house grow, not this physical building? Do you want to see this church grow? Do you want to see lost people come to know God, not come to know Jesus? Do you want to see lives changed? Yeah. Do you want to see the community around you, around this church, and wherever you may live? Do you want to see it impacted for Christ? Yeah. We all say we want that. We all say that's a good idea. But are we doing anything about it? Okay. Do you want this church to make an impact? Of course we do. That's the right attitude, but we've got to have the right actions. I've got some cards up here that I meant to pass out to you earlier. Kyle and Logan, will you grab these and just give everybody one of these? I want to look over. I'm about out of time, but I want you to see this. It really just kind of outlines what we just talked about. Achieving the vision requires the right attitude and the right actions. Why? Well, do you want to see God's power working in your life? Yeah, of course we do. Do you want to see God's presence? Of course we do. But more importantly, we want to see our church grow, right? But more important than that, we want to see lost people saved. But more important than that, we want to see God get the glory. We want to see God glorified. And where does God get glory from? Through the church, through the work that the church is doing, through obedience, through all these things that are happening, all these things that we're commanded to do. I want you to take these with you. These are kind of the commitment cards. So what do we do? What do we do now? Number one, I want you to identify, what are my priorities and what are my excuses? Israel had them. And yeah, they were getting attacked. They were being harassed by people. They didn't have very many people. They didn't have much money to build a temple like what Solomon had. They didn't have all that, but it was just an excuse. At the end of the day, it was just an excuse, and Haggai called them out on it. You've got plenty of time to take care of your own house, and we make the same excuses. God, I don't have time to go to church. God, I don't have time to read my Bible. I don't have time to pray. I don't have time to witness. I don't have time to build the house of God. But we've got time for everything else. See, commitment is all about what you want to do. Okay? You make time for what you want to do. You make time for your priorities. And it's about reordering and restructuring our priorities and what's important. So number one, in your life right now, I want you to identify what is stopping you from making this commitment to God. What's stopping you from making this commitment to this church? Because we all say we want to see the church grow. We've all said it. We all say we want to see this church connect people, reach people. But it's not just going to happen. We can't just breeze in here once a week, 3 or 4 times a month, and it's just going to happen. You see, the thing is, I think a lot of us came from churches where maybe we were on the fringe. What I call fringe members. You're a member, you're part of the church, and you're involved. Right? You're there, but not committed. And you came to church when you didn't have something else going on. You got involved when you didn't have something else to do. And you got plugged in occasionally. But when you didn't, it's no big deal because other people there to pick up the slack. Other people there to do the work, and the church went on. Guess what? We don't have that luxury. We don't have that luxury. Every single one of you that are sitting out here this morning looking at me, we're a small group. This is a huge building. This is a huge populated area. More people than 2 or 3 of us can reach. More people than half of us can reach. It's more people than all of us in this building can reach. If we're going to accomplish God's vision for this church, every single one of you, in the sound of my voice, are going to have to get committed. You're going to have to stop making excuses. Start making priorities. Start making commitments. and understand that when you're not here, we're weaker because of it. This church doesn't go on without you because you decided you needed to go to the lake or to a friend's house or to an event or whatever it is that's going on. We've got to have you here, and you're missed when you're gone. Our church is not complete when you're not here. We're not in a big mega church where no one knows or cares if you're not there, and that it moves on without you. Not the case here, okay? Not the case here. We've got to identify our excuses and get rid of them, root them out. And number two, ask the same question that Haggai was asking. Is it right that I'm building my own house while God's house is lying in ruins? And we're not in ruins. We're a new church. We're young, and we're still wanting to rebuild and build and grow and reach lost people. But we're so young and we're so small, we've got to all be on board, pitching in and helping it and taking care of it, making sure this is happening. Is it right that I'm focused on whatever, fill in the blank? Fill in the blank. Is it right? And the answer is no, it's not right. It's not right. And when you come up with those excuses, those priorities, what I want you to do is, what we all need to do is repent. We need to turn away from that. God, I'm sorry, it's not right. I've been focused on building my life. I've been focused on building my career. I've been focused on building my family. I've been focused on building whatever it is, fill in the blank. I've been focused on this. Meanwhile, your church is struggling. Your church is struggling financially. Your church is struggling to reach lost people. Your church is struggling to grow. But I've been spending the time on myself, and I need to stop if I want to see God do great things through this church, and I know God will, but He's going to do it through us, okay? Repent of those things, and then lastly, commit. And say this, I will make my church a priority. What I need today is to know who it is that's on board. Who's on board to say, I will make this church a priority. I want to see this church grow and do great things in our communities, with my neighbors and my family, in the world. I want to see it impact. I want to see this place bursting with people that come here to praise and worship and serve God. Do you want to be a part of that? Do you want to see it happen? Yeah, we all will want to see it happen, but it's going to take us making the commitment to get it done. So what I'm asking you to do, if you look on this line right here, there's a little spot for you to sign your name right under that commitment. And it says, I will make my church a priority. There's just a little reminder of what we talked about today. I want you to take it with you. I want you to, if you're willing to make this commitment, I want you to sign that card. But here, lastly, if you would stand with me this morning. Here's what I want you to do. And I want you to take this seriously. I don't want you to come and do this if you're not ready. Because next Sunday is going to be a test for you. How many of you know what next Sunday is? Or next weekend? What? Labor Day. Not Memorial Day. I always get them backwards. It's Labor Day. Here's your test right off the bat. I'm going to be here. Of course, you're a preacher. You get paid to be here. I know. I don't have to be. Okay? I can get a fill-in preacher, and I can go to the lake, and I can kick back, and I can relax. I haven't had a day off, and I don't know when. You can come on, all right? We'll have church at the lake. No, I'm not going to the lake. Okay? I'm not saying that makes me better than anybody that's at the lake. Don't get me wrong. Okay? I'm just saying, I understand this church needs every single one of us. There's people not here today. They're missed. They're needed. We want them here. There's people that are serving back here in the back, and I wish they could be here to do this, but they'll get their chance next week, every week. But here's what I want you to do. Dylan, if we start that video, just a little softer, not much though, so it's not too awkward and silent. I've got a board up here, looked a lot like our opening screen here, and some markers. If you're willing to make this commitment for the next several weeks to go through this, hopefully it extends on beyond this, but I need to know, I want to know, who's going to make this commitment, who's going to make this church their priority.
With no point of reference,
I want you to come forward and I want you to pray about this.
Spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of life.
Okay, got the markers. Doesn't write real well on pages of styrofoam, but
and as you speak,
I pray with us.
100 billion galaxies are born.
We know who's willing to commit.
In the vapor of your breath, the planets form. And if the stars were made to worship so light, I can see your heart in everything you made. Every burning star, a signal fire rays. If creation sings your praises, so will I. God of your promise, don't speak in vain, no syllable empty or void. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. As you speak, 100 billion creatures catch your breath. Evolving in pursuit of what you said. It all reveals your nature so I can see your heart in everything you say. Every painted sky and canvas of your grace. If creation still obeys you, so will I. So will I. So will I. If the stars are made to worship, so will I. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. And if the oceans roar your greatness, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. And if the wind goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sun of all our praise still falls shine, we'll sing again 100 billion times. God of salvation, chase down my heart through all of my failure and pride. On a hill you created, the light of the world, abandoned in darkness to die. And as you speak,
All right. We're going to do the song that we started with earlier, Yes, I Will. And basically, this is just kind of a recommitment. If you would stand with us this morning again, and we're going to sing Yes, I Will. Okay? And it goes perfectly. Kind of our theme song for this series. Yes, I will praise you in the storm. I will commit my life to you. I will commit my life to your church. I will make a commitment. Yes, I will.
to praise, to glorify, glorify the name of all names, that nothing can stand against. Oh yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Oh yes, I will for all my days. Oh yes, I will for all my days. Oh yes, I will. You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where fear may fail, and there I find you in the mystery, an ocean still, my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. I am yours, and you are Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. Where feet may fail and fear surrounds me, you never fail, and you won't start now. And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. I am yours, and you are mine. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. And take me deeper than my feet could ever wander. presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. You take me deeper than my feet could ever wander. My faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. And take me deeper than my feet could ever wander. My faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. And take me deeper than my faith could ever wander. My faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. I am yours, and you are mine.
Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it. Still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no word, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, and leaves the 99. And I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
There's revival and it's spreading like a wildfire in my heart. Sunday morning, hallelujah, and it's lasting a week long. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? It's the rhythm of a gospel song. Oh, once you choose it, you can't lose it. There ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. I got an old church choir singing in my soul. I got a sweet salvation and it's beautiful. I got a heart overflowing 'cause I've been restored. There ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. No, there ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. When the valleys that I wander turn to mountains that I can't climb. Oh, you there ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. I got an old church choir singing in my soul. I got a sweet salvation and it's beautiful. I got a heart overflowing 'cause I've been restored. There ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. No, there ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. Clap your hands and stomp your feet till you find that gospel beat, 'cause he's all you'll ever need, all you'll ever need. Clap your hands and stomp your feet till you find that gospel beat. He's all you'll ever need, all you'll ever need. I got an old church choir singing in my soul. I got a sweet salvation and it's beautiful. I got an old church choir singing in my soul. I got a sweet salvation and it's beautiful. I got a heart overflowing 'cause I've been restored. There ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. No, there ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. Oh, there ain't nothing gonna steal my joy.
All right. Amen. Good worship service. I like that. I have no idea what time it is because I can't see the clock back there. But before you leave today, I've got just a little bit of information I want to give you. I'll tell you what. Go ahead and have a seat. I'm gonna let y'all go on out here for just a second. And so I would make it quicker if I had my phone. I don't know where I set it. I put my notes on my phone. Okay. So we'll depend on the brain, right, to remember. All right. That never works out well. Never works well. Thank you so much for those of you who signed this. It looks like a lot of people came up and signed it this morning, so glad to see that. And we're going to hold each other to it, all right? All right? If you want to, come investigate these names, take a picture of it, and you see somebody not living a committed life, not being committed to church, you can call them out on it, all right? Say, I didn't tell you this, but by putting your name on there, you gave us all permission to call you. Okay, no. We'll be nice about it, all right? We'll do it in love. All right. Next week, we're going to have a business meeting, and we'll have financial report for you for the first time. And, well, since I've been down here for 4 years almost, and we have never had accurate numbers or good numbers, but Bob has been wrestling and working this over, and it's got the best of him a few times, but I think he's come out on top. Yeah, he did. He's done a lot of work, put a lot of time into it, and we're actually going to have real numbers that are actually reflect what's been going on, and so we can see where we are financially, so we can see how broke we are, basically, is what he's going to do. So he's just going to give us all the bad news, and we'll blame it all on him. He's the treasurer. It's his fault, right? So we are going to go over that next week. All right. So make sure you're here for that, and some other things. Here's some things that we're going to be voting on. And number one, off the top of my head, Stacy, where are you? I'm probably going to need my phone, but is it in the sound booth by any chance? Okay. Number one, here's what we want to talk about. As you know, Chris McCarthy's gone on to another church and he's kind of left us without leadership up in the greenhouse. And so what we want to do is, we want to fill that void. And God, I think, has brought us a great, great man to take care of that for us. And I have talked to a lot of the parents, maybe not all of you yet, but I'm getting around to all of you and kind of felt you out on where you stood with it. But Jared has been with us, I guess, since February. Jared and Jennifer and Jocelyn and Jace sitting right here. Hey, how you doing? Hi, Jocelyn. Wonderful, wonderful family. Love having them with us, and he's got great ideas and a lot of experience, and so I've talked to him about taking and filling that role, and because he's got my support, my vote. He's the one I'm recommending to the church to take over and take the leadership, take the reins of the greenhouse of our teens. Okay, but we're not going to vote on it. I'm just putting him out there for you to think about. Talk to him if you haven't talked to him, got to know him yet. Ask some questions. talk about it amongst yourselves. And please, if you have any questions or concerns, call me. I think all of you have my number. If not, somebody does. All right. So I would like to go ahead and just take the vote on that next week. I don't think there's going to be any problems. Everybody I've talked to has been very positive about it. And hey, my brain and my phone, right? Yeah, I know. Hey, there's one Sunday doing the Lord's Supper. I had to borrow a Bible from one of the church members. That's that's embarrassing because I had all my notes on my phone and stuff and lost it. Notes. There we go. So anyway, we're gonna be talking about that next week. Take a vote on that. And uh, missionaries. Okay, we've got a missionary named Ernesto Gallegos, and I have no idea how long we've been supporting him. And backtrack, his son Juan Gallegos was in Acuna, Mexico. He moved to Del Rio 3 years ago, and he has Calvary in Henderson has picked him up to be his sponsoring church just to get some weight off of us, and which I knew somebody would pick him up quickly. But we decided to keep his father. Now, his father retired, actually, literally retired 2 years ago. Is that right? 2 years ago? And he was on ABA support as well. ABA was in 80% of his salary. Timberlake's would pick up the other 20%. Well, he retired 2 years ago, but being an older gentleman, we didn't want to have him out there with no income, nothing coming in. We decided to keep paying the 20% of his salary. Jump in anytime I say something wrong, okay? And, well, come to our attention that he has no longer retired. He is back in the mission field, and he has a sponsoring church, Faith in Oklahoma. San Antonio. Oklahoma, San Antonio. They're pretty close. Thank you. I did great in geography in school. So anyway, so my recommendation to the church is that since he now has ABA support and salary and ascending church,